advise that we all take our seats. I want us to start by inviting the presence of God with a minute of silent prayers, please. Amen. Amen. On behalf of the Minister of Information and Civic Education and the team at the ministry, I want to formally welcome everyone. But then, with the permission of the minister, we agreed that all our press conferences are going to be conducted in Creole. So, I want to welcome everybody. And the easy way to make we decide strategically say we want for conduct we press conference by Creole. Now for make we ensure say now going forward every means of way government they communicate to with people them, except in extreme circumstances where we get to deal with people that sometimes really understand or hear Creole, we want to make sure say we do them in a language where every Sierra Leonean going to understand and know what the government say and what the government they do. Now I make the new minister and me and the team don't decide say press conference now one important platform with government they inform citizens them of what the government they do and what they happen inside government. So now I make this when our first press conference we don't say make we conduct and Creole. Like I start, I want to welcome all we party them who are journalists that we can attend today. And the reason why to make we start sharp 2 now because me and the minister don't decide say we get for do government business and government work with time consciousness. That means we say 2 na 2 o'clock. Because I know say but people before you carry you say don't get different arrangement and how you get for go. And no one make government be burden on you. So government will come only here for time where you don't necessarily for be here. So now I make as part of the first change we start on time. Today we get big people them where we don't invite for can talk to we on many things then. And then people are never going to today. I will start for introduce or present to now because as I look and see yes. First we're going to introduce the Chief of Defense Staff to get to citizens with our Lieutenant General Patrick Lavao, with the Chief of Defense Staff for the Republic of Sierra Leone. That's all clap for the CDS. Now the CDS in immediate right, we also get the person where on top the policeman and all of the country where they call the Inspector General of Police where Inspector General Fire Cell where we all sabi. We have not clap for himself. This platform also, under this press conference, me and the minister and the team don't decide say we not just get to get people away and government people away, therefore they can give you information. But also as part of the civic engagement, for now the gap between government and the citizens then, we also come for this as platform who say people learn as civil society. If they want pass message to citizens then, we create for them the opportunity for them also come and be part of this press conference where they make weekly. So today, for the very first time, we get the national president for Women's Forum Salone, when Madam Sally Adams, recently part of this press conference. We also expect we Minister of Finance, when Sheku Fantamani for David, because I know say people in Goa know about how the economy they do and how the budget, supplementing budget we don't give, waiting our government in plan for taking forward. But while we wait for him, we also get the Deputy Minister of Finance one, with a strong woman, with a Madam Jennifer, who did it for this press conference. Madam Jennifer, now see. Madam Jennifer Bangura will do it. Now, Leone London, the Deputy Minister, I will hand over now to the Minister who now we host for this press conference. We now we brother Mr. Chino Ba, we are the Minister for Information and Civic Education for take the program forward. Mr. Minister.
All right, thank you. Honorable Deputy Minister Yusuf Sandi.
Family una co-share and we want to tell you all plenty thank you again for una come. I want to start by laying the foundation for the members of the fourth estate, the press. I want to say this is our first official engagement with the press. And I want to make it clear, we will get follow-up proper conversations there with the Association of Journalists. Here it was Guild, we want to insist them as well with bloggers across the country. We look forward to a fruitful, productive relationship with the media. We consider UNA as an important partner, as allies for advance, not just credible factual information, but also the civic education space in Salone. So this is not just the beginning. This is our first engagement, and me and Minister Sanimi, they see this morning that in fact, today are only about the fifth official working day, and this is our first full week. So, but putting in the will let us change. We will engage with now on. We want to get feedback at the end of this. There will be another back. We will ask them for giving feedback on how we do, what we do for making this better. Some people go and ask why we're not in our Ministry of Information today, because we say we're a minister and a very young, na 8th floor, to the good day and elevator no day. So we understand, say, that the already an accessibility issue. We come out from that whole day, we think about, okay, is there a place where we do this press conference? It will be easier for them to have access. So the foundation of how they think, and how we work together with you. Already today, we want to make sure we occupy the front seats there. We want to understand, see now, this press conference before. Any question we get, any engagement we get, so we follow up questions, we will make available them principally here to now. In exchange, we ask for me una say, live by una ethics and una code the una don't say. That we present factual information to the public, that we observe the integrity, that we follow the IMC code, the owner don't join me as well as the government consent. So for a start, we really look forward for get a productive relationship with now. I just want to reiterate with Minister Sandi that there's an intentionality behind who they decide for communicating Creole. I know say some people don't have to struggle small. It don't mean say we don't ban English, we combine, we will do English as well. But primarily, we know say some of that carry this live. People then 1 year and then think they will get to talk about our press conference. Important is in the way people they want to know about Salone. So no once again we talk, some people the past will translate for them. So English and Creole seem for being the language where most people they understand. So we do that means at the name we will speak small by English because of terminology we will mix. But I want to take the opportunity for welcome my colleague and senior brother, we have a minister for all the money business and this country, the finance minister. we just don't when we not Dr. Sheku Fantamaki. We don't give doctor title, but the minister, Mr. Bangura, thank you so much. And so, one more thing about the structure of this. First, we go around and I will ask the respective principals and for the primary information we can share with you. When they don't give an opening interventions, then we will open for a structured question and answer session. We will ask now for ask questions, make comments, this is an interaction. We want for them to get a substantive conversation. Now, not all man will get for people for points to solve. You will get smartphone, you turn around that screen and use that code immediately on the screen and ask a question. It will come immediately. Now we have a lot of already check them question and una within the room, we also check some give you votes for the question to make sure say power will answer that question if somebody don't ask the question. So in case you don't get access to the mic or wise the speaker they talk, because not to ask the talk they open for question. We allow everybody to talk first, then I'm open for question. While you talk, if you don't want to forget your question, you can use that platform there as well for us for immediately put your question in. So I don't know and I will prep as well for them to be able to answer the question we don't put forward. Going forward, we also don't move the press conference to Tuesday. In order for that Thursday. Now we plan to come, Friday, and be every Thursday we do press conference. We try for institutionalize this Tuesday now. Because if it's early in the week, we believe say we get a better chance for let we make the newspaper. Then we do Thursday, Friday. If you let not publish, someone they know Friday, you know they get right. So what their government information be part of the conversation for the week. We therefore they make sure say each press conference cover specific themes then. One, and very important, now whatever cabinet and major decisions then we don't happen, so what's the end of that week? We go come Tuesday, we start with that. And that day we focus particularly on the big five. So if we get, like today we hope say we go that the chief minister was share extending apologies to there or set the scene for me. So each press conference we will get a principle from one of them big picture and the second, or if somebody not obviously a new job line between me and the deputy and members of the ministry or lead on that part. But each press conference will also focus on some socio-economic issue. So the economy, really important and some people like for color. And today we get the highest post in the economy, we talk about that, we minister of finance. That is important. As necessary, we also definitely focus on security issues. So, as a thematic area for the press conference and the conversation, we want to provide updates on the state security issues, any new information there. And we therefore partner with the security apparatus, so that they use this platform as well, so that they communicate generally to the people of this country. And then, like how the minister said, because we get a civic engagement and civic education portfolio, we don't want to let this, because it's a big platform, so China Live and all there, we want to also be a platform where we interact with civil society. Some civil, social justice issue there, we're burning, we're newsworthy. Sometimes it might not even be things that we necessarily fully agree with, but an opportunity for them to get a conversation in a discussion. We commit to that, so we make this platform as well open for the civil society and with other partners in the civic engagement world, let them come and share any updates with them. That can be framework. Now, I'm a pleasure for call the first speaker, with our distinguished Honorable Minister for Money Business, for Finance, for let him talk to and open on which update them from the Ministry of the Economy. We know say we just don't present a supplementary budget. Any additional information or clarification will set the scene, and like I said, you hold on to your question. Either use the app now and write some in, for you hold on when they all don't present stores to open up for questions. And I thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you. Thank you very much, the Minister of Information and Civic Education. And family on afternoon. I'm glad for the out now. And when I know say we don't engage on the economy. I mean, those few minutes where I take both, I go deliver the supplementary budget. Of course, you go ask you why we do that. Because we just don't pass budgets last year, December, we come to make sure, say, by the 1st of January, we begin to spend on the resources we generate for the government. But we notice 6 months into the year, for putting in the will happen, we make them budget appropriation with Parliament is passed. Most of the assumptions that we put on the opinion, there are also assumptions that they belong shapes. So we make sure, say, some of the allocations that will be long program for the MDAs, then certainly will be required for revise them. Secondly, the what we call macro framework, meaning all the potential for revenue expenditures and the things that really drive growth. Most of the development in the belong shift because of some of the development that will take place outside of Sierra Leone. For example, the persistence of war in Ukraine, supply chain challenges, but also as well some of the disruptions in terms of rising price of petroleum and essential commodities. We own growth projections, but we don't make for the economy. We therefore revise them at some point, but it's the reality. And also, make sure say the rise in those prices of goods and services, even with projections on servicing debt, but also funding foreign missions and some of the NDAs, then we therefore make sure say we revise them. As well, the new development of the manifesto, the new government, and the pronouncement of the government with President Vic on new NDAs, this one, with the MICE, but also technology, infrastructure, and initiative on climate change, food security, and the like. Those ones and sustainable energy will be able to make sure so we look for account and factor for them for work. As well, this country in 2022 faced some serious shock. The way we end up the year, we end up with very huge deficits. So we therefore begin to think how we consolidate the economy itself in public finances and make sure so we stabilize for growth going forward. So that will be the underpinning of the supplementary budget. That's why we went back. And we looked at the big dynamics there. One, when I noticed say in the course of the year in April, we introduced the Finance Act because nobody introduced Finance Act at the last budget statement. But we see the need in the course of the year to introduce Finance Act. And the Finance Act they introduced some new tax measures. And then tax measures that they bottom on closing loopholes, some of the tax animals, especially corporate tax. So we decided to introduce minimum alternate taxation. Because before now, what's that happens is that we companies then, we get the liberty for declare losses and not pay profits of corporate taxes. So this will affect a lot for predictable on the tax handle. So we introduce a minimum tax. What the minimum tax itself is that you really need for fully declare your overall operations of your books or as a company. And if you really not make profit, will they say that you pay minimum tax? So if you make profits, will they assess you on the real profitability that you make and then you pay the tax accordingly? So we just want to discourage some of the loopholes then. What we do is revise with GST as well. The GST, the goods and service tax, we get a lot of exemptions. When we get an exemption, the exemption we're not supposed for really be given at all. But what we do, we protect the poor people, and then we introduce that aspect and they will not be originally captured. And so on that aspect, and they will be noticed, say, NRA will be a new institution. NRA, at the time when they introduce them, not be able for building capacity for able for do an assessment of certain category of GST taxes, who we decide on which to introduce. But in the same vein, we give waivers for many of the items that we will say like for people, rice and the like, So that are the kind of balance hold. Some of the other areas of taxation who we introduce measures on, government excise tax, for example, where they call sin tax on tobacco products, sugar products, alcohol, and the like. where we believe it's supposed to be a workforce as well for taxation, where we revise the tax, they were also on petroleum products, we revise those taxes relatively upwards, slightly, basically for really managed externalities of people consuming those goods and making sure that we harmonize the taxes, but not only that, increase some of the uptake on them, for make sure say you predict. Some of the aspects of the reforms that were introduced are reforms the way they enhance the technology of NRA for make sure say they become more efficient in collecting taxes. So on excise, for example, we introduce track and trace systems, both for excisable commodities, but also we introduce something called fair marking system for petroleum products, following for assets we tax on the level for the country. Several other small areas that they will introduce tax measures. Really, all that effort they introduce an average of additional 2.2% of GDP increased revenues for the collecting the course of the year. So that's new money, right? Then we get new money beyond the one way that we approved in December. And then we introduce the new SDR allocation of about $1 billion for Ghana. These are additional money into the budget. Will not be there originally, right? And then, so when you get a new money here, plus also you get expenditure measures the way you get to take, but then you make sure, say, you reduce some of the otherwise big spending on infrastructure and make sure, say, you rationalize the budget. Now, when you do that, the budget framework change. Plus also, with this new money that we'll get, and then new ministries that we're going to introduce, and all that, you really need to go back and go seek legal appropriation for expending new money at the government. So that's what the underpinning is. Now, all of this, I think, is important for all people to understand. But what we decide to do is, we then change this year, and in 2022, we don't get a very, because of the impact that I was talking about, the deficit was so high, close to about 10% of GDP. Which will do the adjustment here, efforts are raising revenues, but also these new resources that will come and the discipline will introduce in the tax in the expenditure management system. We expect that at the end of this year, we will not shrink or consolidate the budget for just about 5.4% of GDP. So that process of budget deficit relative to gross domestic product, we will reduce them to 5.4%. Now, this is what we call fiscal consolidation. Meaning we take effort them, raise revenue, become more disciplined, ease up the pressure before they get on both the exams, but also the expenditures, and make sure that we budget rationalize. Why is this important? When you get too much high budget deficit, the way you finance them, it will put pressure on the central bank. Whereby the way you finance them, it put pressure on the central bank. Central bank will be forced to do high power lending to it, right? We don't do high power lending, the small supply coming to the economy, it will affect inflation, it will affect even the value of the currency. So we try to take a posture of ensuring that we instill fiscal discipline. That fiscal discipline, they ease the pressure on the central bank in the way they manage the economy, and try to instill what we call macroeconomic stability. So that's the underpinning. But as it is going forward, we project, say, in the course of the year, even though we get moderate growth because of all the development that will take place, and if we do fiscal consolidation, and what we will do right now, we expect that by next year, in terms of outlook, this country will begin to grow at a reasonable level, close to about 4.78% of GDP, even more bigger than that in 2024. So as we're going right now, the posture will get to not begin with the same outlook and called budget called circular, where that will begin the budget preparatory process, where we involve all ministries, departments, and agencies of the government on the back of the new framework that we get right now, backed by some of these tax measures, but also the posture we'll take around managing expenditures, and engage with the general public for waiting for write the new budget for next year. So that process doesn't really start. But in the course of the year, what did we do? When we get all the difficulties here, we put together a place. We try to ensure that, say, goods and services are available in the country. I will not get any shortages in the country. Definitely, fuel is there in the country. Rice available, we have never had shortages. What we will be grappling with are the prices internationally. Okay, and I'm open to discuss those issues. And the reason why we have adjusted petroleum pricing in the country is because of the pressure it has on the budget. It is very expensive because we are importing oil. And international price of oil and the foreign currency value have not been has been very high, it's been dropping and depreciating. So we need to be doing the relevant adjustment for ease the pressure on the budget because we are subsidizing. But what we have done as a government, not only subsidize and fully pass through that cost of people. We will not say it's not easy for people out of the budget. So slowly we will adjust until such time when we will pass through fully. However, there are several other measures we will take for measures to assuage the cost on the vulnerable people of these issues, of these rising prices on essential goods. We will do safety net. We will do cash for work. We will do resources for youth and women. We get Munafa that the women have access to. About if possible, close to about 10,889 beneficiaries. 75% of those are women. We have a lot of programs that are targeted at youth. That's how we've been trying to manage the effect of all of these things in the course of the year. That posture will not change. The only thing is that even on the current budget, what we have done is to recalibrate the budget to begin to look at these big facts, where you invested below feed, Salone. So they even give farmers their input subsidies, where they call through the e-voucher system, for seedlings, fertilizer, but also access to machines for able to farm in the course of the year. Whilst we still do investment on education, school feeding, exam fees, all these things are actually being done for them for ease of the pressure of the current macro dynamics on families who are not very poor. I think I can left hand for now, and then I'll open up for I'm available for any questions on our part. So thank you very much.
Want to tell the Honorable Minister plenty thank you for family house. I think you don't really say you government they work. We live in a period where crisis there across the world. But the government of Salone through the Ministry of Finance don't take specific steps there for stabilize the economy and improve the situation at the country. One of the steps that we don't take, we mentioned, and that we do budgets and they try for let government raise more money because they are with the lost money because people they balance the tax code. And in addition to that, we don't get additional resources as well from the IMF. And this new budget, they don't put that additional resources, they will seek Parliament's approval for how they will spend them, including for continue for support young people, women, the poor across the country, as well as for focus on President Leone in big 5 priorities that we don't lay out for his second term. So we tell the Minister plenty thank you. Another highlight what I think we for remember is in the midst of all these global challenges that we get and the economic challenges that we world, by the way, all across the world they face. Now that they don't manage the economy. The government of Salone don't manage the economy well enough for ensure say people need to learn for rest and fuel always is. So goods and services they are available. We deal with price issues, but even that we do it in a structured and systematic way. And there is clarity, like, and the economy is stable. So we want to tell you plenty thank you. And I hope say we and the media, including, for example, the editors and other people left, will take their message here and an indication say, come to this press conference because we will make sure say the information will be substantive. Now we will switch quickly and we come to the security sector. We get with me the Inspector General of Police for the country. And I know say for full news only over the past few days, and people can get specific questions then. We can get about different states of the security. Before we IGP talk, I want to acknowledge the presence of the brother. We are the press secretary for His Excellency the President, the primary spokesperson, and also here for not only render his support, but as well at some point, a specific question for him, Amanda and say always ready. So, Mr. Salone, ASQ, we tell you thank you for your journey. IG Fire Cell, the body and the concern. We pass this one to
well, afternoon. Glad to be part of this daily press briefing by the new minister and the team. Generally, I want to say the general security situation across the country is calm and quiet. If it's not calm and quiet, we won't be looking at this country. We're all for the government, it's not like that. I want to talk about two issues. The first one, the subversion, who will investigate, Salone police. And the second one, therefore, this helicopter will come down machinery around our Waterloo axis. We don't come out to so many jobs. I don't know that Salone engineer, that's what we see now. Let's start with the first one. Monday, the 31st of July, we informed the general public, say, the security sector, their activities, then amount to bring gas to the country, for can destroy property, for can destroy life, and at the end of the day, for can change government with the just doing it. So in pursuit of that, we, as police, we institute investigations to that. Well, of course, during the investigation, we don't do a number of arrests. And the arrest is predicated on the evidence. So as at the talk so now, we get in our custody 8 mid-level Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces officers. They are saying mid-level, they range from lieutenant to major. We get 6 non-commissioned officers of the House Land Force, NCOs, from private sergeants and category. They will get 2 serving members of the Sierra Leone Police, 1 sub-inspector and 1 police constable. Then we get also, as recently as this morning, 1 retired chief superintendent of police. He said we have custody for this investigation. Alongside all them, we also get 2 civilians. We themselves, they help me for this investigation. As we investigate, we find out, say, we still not put out a manhunt for a couple of people more. And that will include 5 house staff personnel. Out of that 5, 2 are mid-level officers, then 3 are non-commissioned officers. Then on the police side, we look for 3 Sierra Leone police personnel, 1 sub-inspector and 2 police constables. In the case of all this, as security sector, we want to assure the public say we are fully in control, we are fully in charge, and we are running things. We don't do a couple of things. We don't beef up the border security posted, the border patrols, we don't defend them, we don't increase them by a huge margin. Constantly we got joint patrols, the military and the police, along with the borders, along with the army. Then of course, the posture across the board, across the country, we don't change the posture because of what we look at, the amount of taking off guard. So we don't change the posture because of that. Additionally, we don't step up the the intelligence collection outfits. We want to deploy a lot of assets out there, not only to dismantle them, but even civilians who don't bring them on board for bribery with the intelligence. So we want to assure members of the public, say, they wake up, and they go about the normal business. But with the advice, say, if you see something, say something. If you see anything which is suspicious in the community, report it. If you see anything where it don't satisfy you, report it to me so that we will act on that. Also, don't say, I'm not concerned me, so not to the business. Who knows what will happen next? So that is the status of that investigation. So as of now, we continue the investigation, and anything can happen. If the minister proceeds also along the line, if the evidence points out, we can go into section. So I'm not above the law. I'm also subject to that. So let people that remain at ease, make no worry for that. The second issue we are talking about is helicopter which comes from Mashure village, about 15 miles from Waterloo. On Saturday, the 5th of August, around 11:51 hours, one helicopter, registration number Z5-RWT, the type na AS350. It do one landing where they call precautionary landing, Madam Mashure village, 15 miles from Waterloo. This helicopter, it belongs to one company where they call Sky Horse Aviation Company. We get the headquarters in Victoria, South Africa. Now, two people fly helicopter. One British, Richard Leach, and one South African, Nicholas Kramer. Then two people also, they are certified pilots, certified by the South African Civil Aviation Authority. We get certificate. Of course, we don't do an investigation into all of this also. So the helicopter, then they use them for doing what we call mineral exploration surveys with mining companies and environmental protection agencies in different parts of Africa, Europe, and Asia. This helicopter, we went to pilot them on board. They left South Africa, Pretoria specifically on the 28th of July. Then we go on an exploration exercise now Greenland. For South Africa, for Greenland, we have to pass through so many airspaces. Right, they will tell you, they seek landing rights for all the airspaces that will ever fly. And also the fix they will need for retrieve because the helicopter is strong. It needs a large volume of the fuel we need for go very far. So it's like after every 4 hours, we need to can refill. So you have to pass through the airspace of Botswana, Namibia, Angola, Gabon, Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone. Then subsequently, you go Gambia, Mauritania, the Canary Islands, then they end up at Greenland. Sierra Leone, for example, you can get a landing permit where they get agents. The house civil aviation operates UKB agents for take landing permits for flights where they can land at the country for refill. Most times, and for just refill, not for even sleep. If you never sleep, the permit will specify as such. For this particular flight, they get the agent, Patrick, Sorry Camara, waiting on number 8 Steve Castle, off Wilkinson Road. In an agent for this Sky Housing Aviation Company. A secure landing permit for this helicopter, with the landing permit number LP/010-823-057. That's not the landing permit number, and dated the 1st of August 2023. And the person who signed this permit, Nawab Usman D. Jallo, is signed on behalf of the Director General, Sierra Leone Civil Aviation Authority. We investigate the pilot. The pilot they say at about 11:40 hours, if they fly, he left from Oregon, he come to Africa. So of course, the agents they wait at the airport, they will not reach there by 12 o'clock for refill and go. So 11:40, if they fly at 1,000 feet above sea level, they notice the helicopter vibrates on highway. It's so fearful. 9 them struggle and put a candle at this Mashure village. And put a candle, they call control tower. They alert them, say we will not reach this particular level. They have to locate them precise location by latitude and longitude and transmit them to the control tower for telling them which area specifically. The control tower, the security officer at the airport, Lawrence Conte, he called the police director of operations, he gathered information. So together, we begin to look for this place. The operations man called the LC Waterloo for all of this place. Since now in community, now in the police area, he able to reach there and we see them, we find there. As they reach together, the ONS people themselves they reach, the airport authority people, the city aviation authority, they reach there. Then conduct a search on this helicopter. They not see anything of police interest on this helicopter. We interview people will see when this helicopter is struggle for Kano. They tell me precisely, say, then see this helicopter, they wouldn't see if they don't see the streaming for really for land, otherwise it will crash. As the land, then say go to the boat and they watch out of curiosity. They left the watch, police they come in, civil aviation authority they come in, ONS people they come in, then together they conduct research. But one thing we clear about that. All them people talk to, no say you see they take box people. No talk say you see what they got box they can go. Nobody will say you see boat camp they got come as opposed to what you getting on social media. How they go left in the inside boat, speedboat, carbon and tobo, all of those concussions. So, but we get interviews so conduct on the spot. Nobody will say you see the tooth box. Nobody will say you see the tooth something pull, somebody can do something. No. So that's how the thing happened. Then of course, Salone Civil Airport Authority, they come with 2 certified engineers for their aircraft. They can do small thing on this helicopter. Then do ground run, small. Then you know, so this one, we can move up small, no Lungi or left on Hastings. So they move up from that point, they climb on Hastings, as we talk to the back at the Salone Armed Forces, Air Force Base. The status now that they don't fly in 2 engineers from South Africa to come fix the helicopter to continue for more on an assignment. This helicopter and the helicopter will do exploration. Some of you will not see them here before this time. I remember 2016, 2011, where they came one helicopter we did, we do similar assignment. You get big thing on a satellite dish. They fly all over the top, they do mineral exploration. So that is the details of the helicopter. The pilot in there, when the engineer come from South Africa, with all the way with we own civil aviation expert them, engineer them, they go look up, they fix them, we check them. We have all the documents, the flight route, the landing permit, the man and certificate, copies of the certificates, and everything they need for flight. So that's the details of this investigation. So maybe that all and so.
An accomplished communicator as the Inspector General of Police. Let's thank you to the Inspector General of Police for very clear, concise updates. If anybody gets any question on this, I think Stefan and others don't get the message clear. An investigation they go on, the security apparatus confident. They not just disrupt this investigation, they get people in custody really supports them right now in the investigation. And they want to assure family them now who say nothing only for what he wants. Because in security and safety, they are assured we professional officials that be on top of the situation. As far as the Leone land is concerned, the information is very simple. They don't conduct a thorough investigation. In fact, Also, we say we have played with those cover for this guy who don't know what. We get records that we don't really ask for land in Salone. And you know, also in the abundance of caution, even though they know this, they don't go shake that place, turn all thing over, check everything for make sure we don't let no stone unturned. And then professionally, they have both from the security and the civil aviation authorities and get confident. Say nothing only with anybody need to worry about, and everything is safe. I now get the pleasure for welcome the youngest chief minister in the history of Sierra Leone, the Salone, the father of radical inclusion. What can I say? Well, and so in agree, I say, well, and you don't set the bar on radical inclusion. So radical inclusion may not get this conversation about how Creole important. Obviously, as I'm a very busy man, we're really grateful that he's there. So we'll just say a few words. I mean, don't get a brief for say, but just set the scene and set the stage about how we approach government communication with a priority of His Excellency, especially in the second term, but for him as Chief Minister in the first 100 days. So we'll just give you some quick highlights and then we'll try to meet Sister Salone.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. I'm glad that you welcome me now for this press conference. Interestingly, yesterday, more people were telling me, hey, like how CBS and IG for cancer people, then that will not do that new. But this is a different government. With IG and CBS, then they talk to people then, but wait till they happen. We know they talk now because we want to talk. We know say communication important in the part of governance, and we think government they do the work we get for you. When I said as Hamburg then get for equity for without the and we know that we responsibility for communicate to that responsibility for making one know what they do and how they do it, and so that when I said for equity, and we'll tell you that what we need for do for equity for deliver for all man. As a government, I know soon I don't hear it with the big five, and I don't study it on study by heart. All man will study by heart. Because the big five, they tell me about how we get for transform the country. Salone, the meeting where we for come on, where we make idea, His Excellency in the meeting with the Minister of Agriculture, with the Deputy then for talk about the big five, for Salone in particular, and just always not the strategy, always not the plan, how they get for the Dandy, now we just come over, and Salone really important. And it very much links to human capital development. With the second one, we talk about school feeding, all things interlinked. And this we approach what we go for national development, skills development. We go for young man and young woman, and we need for land the appropriate skills. Because we learn the skills, like we go to the third one, we employment. When you get the skills, then you able to do employment. It's now not to just with government they do for entrepreneurship, back, this and that, employment day. And we do employment all like a public sector, public service delivery. Only two they do, like now, whether business or school business and public service delivery, public sector. So the revamping of the public sector, and all now we did it, we all responsibility because no matter what you do, and whether you get a job or not, in the public sector, they work for you. We know able to get a country, they get development. And finally, underpinning all of that in digital and infrastructure, we need to make sure, see them, they connect all the internet they work. Internet for the, lights for the, roads for the, WhatsApp for the, how they pay for the, I don't know what costs cash. So mobile money for the, all things for the. And importance for me, we understand that denying that development. So that's the big five. I will get quiz, and then school there, but the big five. But really, the minister there, and the ministry, and the head of agency there, they get responsibility to communicate. We not compare what they versus whatever, but we understand, say, we responsibility that for make many people they know how they go. How we come out, which we don't do today, which policy partner, parliament, which policy partner, cabinet, which are the guidelines today, how Ministry of Finance they engage with revenue, because we all responsibility. May not just be say, anyway, not like private sector, anyway, not like this, or we'll talk together. And I mean a general vision where His Excellency don't say, for making the country go before, for really strengthening cohesion, for strengthening national development, for stay connected with the issues. And when I get right to ask me, question them for which they do, and we set their right to respond, our responsibility for respond and engage with the citizens. And at the general direction, I don't know if you, okay. Thank you, I really glad here. I should say, but co-minister, this is not secret, they don't know it. But the ministries and the minister and get to be part of the evaluation in the participation in the Ministry of Information, the press conference. So you don't be in past.
We all start with flying colors. Thank you very much, the Honorable Chief Minister. I understand say the Chief Minister need for run at some point or in September, but the Deputy Minister of Finance could there for answer clarification questions from Finance. So the Minister said for appointment and gets another important engagement now. Before we open up to questions, we ask the sister Sally Adams, we are the president for Women's Forum at Salone, for he gets a brief press release and he said one talk to the woman at Salone and why use this platform. We want to give an opportunity to this and then we will open and we start this conversation.
Continue.
Good afternoon, everyone, at this room. First of all, I want to say thanks to the Minister and the team for where they lead women from Leone and the National Women Umbrella. Minister can talk on the press release and for talk to women outside there, especially the woman the way, Namakituma, the way they don't feel aggrieved. But basically, we have first of all talk about Women's Forum, just like the 1 minute. The Women's Forum and National Umbrella, where we formed in 1994. Connect women the women who work with the government, NGOs, they come together and for discuss on issues that will affect women and that people in Sierra Leone. So basically, the Women's Forum is 29 years old. So if they talk about the National Women's Umbrella, we are the mama. So anything they say, go they see social media or they read, go we know say we don't go to woman go they outside there. If you politician, you never for do to them good, for empower them, you know for use them for do bad acting. But before I say anything, I just want to give this press statement. Then I want to go viral because it's coming from the Women's Forum Sierra Leone. So women's press this from Women's Forum Sierra Leone. The Women's Forum Sierra Leone is a national umbrella organization for women's groups in the country. We still concerned about videos and audios being rounds on social media in which some people are calling on certain market women and other women to stage a protest on Monday, the 14th August, 2023. And before I do this release, I call Anthony Bokale, because I'm the president of the market women, and market women, the part of Women's Forum Sierra Leone. So if I can remember the last August 10th, now so we begin to see audios, them, videos that they come around and say, they want to participate. We undermine them. And at the end of the day, we see them. Anything happen like chaos, violence, aggression, and that, we women of this country, that we suffer most. Sometimes the man that people run away and go, therefore we in the house, and we go take care of them. So this time on, any information we get about women that have to come for demonstration, the Women's Forum Sierra Leone, we quickly committee, discuss them, and see the way forward, and stop women. Because technology for the woman in this country, we are talking about the big five things. We have to say, Makituma and Abacha, lonely, and not the take opportunity. Because they do business and feeding people, agriculture the inside day, So as market women, they don't need for going for the go demonstrate or put the one for use them. But this time when they talk about any possible way one use them and they say, when we get hold of it, we still will begin to them within a court. Because none of them can use woman name because the one we do not get, but they use them as sheets for the mosquito and sleep. No. If we not say, okay, we want to empower the woman there, we go agree. But we're going to use them as the mosquitoes. We're not going to agree on that. I will still continue for the release. The thought of the audios and videos is that women should protect because of the removal of speech leaders from the central business district, which was about as it, and even Leone. Yeah, so we all want to see the country develop. You know, good way to remove them, maybe they don't inform them, we don't know. But if state they don't remove them, they're not getting right, or say they go to demonstrate because they remove them. And if they get a channel, those are the market women, they get an election. They follow pass to the board, market women, they part of women so on. We follow come together and see them different there. How they will for link to Ministry of Gender, then proceed way forward to the government. But they the Salone marketing association is the registered member of the UNESCO and is obliged by statute to channel its complaints and grievances to the umbrella body. That is started with the responsibility of seeking redress for their concerns or remaining the situation. We therefore appeal and calls via audios and videos for protest by an affiliate body of the organization without informing the leadership about their concerns. It should also be noticed that the call for protest does not have the approval of people participate in an unlawful protest. As a law-abiding organization, we will repeat our associate body to always follow the due process and not indulge in illegal acts. For this reason, Women's Forum Salone wants to encourage the Salone Market Women Association to challenge their grievances to their leaders, who in turn will represent the case to the Women's Forum for negotiations. As citizens of this country, we have the right to demonstrate, but we must obey the laws of the land and continue to maintain the peace we are all enjoying today. Finally, Women's Forum Salone condemns all unlawful demonstrations by any group as it undermines our democracy and erodes the gains we have made as a country over the years. Protests are part of our democracy, but the law must observe all times. As I say again, Women's Forum, not until today, we don't begin to negotiate our peace. We respond more than 7 days to the second day. But Women's Forum, when it comes to me, to 1, 2, and 3, and if we let peace on the country, now Women's Forum, we let peace before election to the support area. We now we almost be the same, go do that. And they name it for example. So we don't try hard, even when it comes about the giving. Women's Forum, we do work in collaboration with the Ministry of Gender for ensure that the law is passed. So today, we as Women's Forum, we don't want to see some women they suffer or they die because I remember August 10, where I could start to become. They will die. Police will die. Students will be injured. So this time at the talk to me about a woman, let me happy with this press conference when I started talking to you because the woman outside there also honor was English. And this still where they go on so now starting groups of women we know the part of market women. Because market women and women know where they on a Women's Forum, they're still gonna market themselves. Therefore, when they going to create all this kind of thing where they want to use them, now the one that has been there, the one that's not long we learn about, we're not in some market. So me market women outside there, me as a talk to now. If anything they will not go wrong between women and the government, we might label to now a market woman president and to my labor can you go China and so we don't see what we will lose. Because now what took one development. What did what happen last year we don't tell them what we are able giving put them we don't have to go back into that again. We are at the appeal. Any market woman premiums, if you don't forget to anti-Mali, when I the president, you have to come out to Women's Forum because now all of this are with you. So that's
Thank you very much for that. Sally Adams, the President for the Women's Forum. I think it's time exactly 3 o'clock. So we do very well today with time. We get 30 minutes for questions and conversations. And then we will be cutting on this we made in press conference. We're holding on a court. We'll keep an eye as well on the app. If somebody want to use that, you can ask the question. So, wait till
okay. So, I just want to see if we want to do rounds of questions before we get started. So, we take 3 questions at a time, and then I will open up. We will get the response of reading. So, Mr. Ibu,
yes, yes. Musa Kamara Building, I work with Democracy Review 2021 FM. Immigration and the security sector. We want to know the yardstick we use for arrival at the conclusion. The people in the arrest, they want engaged in subversion. That's number one. Still in relation to security, we don't see issue with Atuna ECOWAS, we don't see the chairman, the president for Nigeria don't take a stand, and Salone are member of the ECOWAS state. We don't see other African countries that don't put statements on the position whether for attack Niger or not, as ECOWAS mandate or the time when they give them elapsed. I want to know at Salone's position for participating with ECOWAS for attack Niger or not.
thank you. I look for one.
I want to see if any female want to ask a question. No?
What's your name?
I said 3 questions at a time. I keep questions small. Go ahead. Yes, Madonna, go on.
Madonna.
Thank you very much, Madonna. Thanks for that question, Lee. Yes, sir.
This incident was sometimes because a lot of police why did it take the police so long for the police to when the country was behind things about all the problems? Second question is for you, Minister of Information. And we talked of we're talking about medical reforms and all that. You don't inform the cabinet ministers that we want to change the world. The media is the weapon. So that's why whenever we go to the hospital, on the spot, the hotel will say everything apart from the issue and facility conference. So working in development, who got this information at that? But before I will go, we want the information to pass it for. But your police and many other people over there system have nobody who wants to talk to them. So we just to medical information that people say that big advice to you all as well and get these people for the responsibility to them.
Thank you so much. Don't get the question there for now. We'll do another round, so we'll get the answer there, then we'll come back. So, I want to arrive at the conclusions in a subversion, and I want the question, and I will take the question on the Salone position on ECOWAS, because I've been already, I've been prepared for that question there. And then there's a question about how you feel, and then why it takes so long for the police as well, and basically media interactions across with the colleagues there.
Well, for answer the question, which are the articles for arrest people for the subversion? No evidence. I think I said, no serious of evidence of so the evidence, not the one person of answer, so that's clear. Evidence, no serious of evidence what by so that's the answer to that question. Then the other question we ask is why it takes so long. I'm not saying it takes so long, but the reason why it takes such a time to come out with this explanation is because we wanted to investigate thoroughly. And now, as I'm talking to you, we have every document I've mentioned, I have the copy of the document. I have their their certificates certified by the South African Civil Aviation Authority. I have the flight routes of their helicopter. I have the landing permit. I have everything that they need to travel. So we wanted to be thorough on that one. That's why it took us 24 hours to come up with the statement. We really want you guys to start beginning to what we are saying after we have come up horribly. So I'm thorough on what I've said. I have every evidence to substantiate what I've said.
All right, thank you very much. And I also just want to say for the record that the Aviation Authority will put out a press statement as well, immediately on the same day. And a few journalists then reached out to me as well for clarification, and I did provide a clarification to the journalists. And the Salone position on ECOWAS, Leone an active participating member of ECOWAS, and the ECOWAS position is consistent with the position. So any position, the ECOWAS position was unanimously taken at a meeting that Leone was present. And even if we were not, they, as always, consistent as a member of ECOWAS, they abide by the decisions and the conclusions of ECOWAS. And on the specific question, I think there's another question from Stephen as well about troops and all that. The ECOWAS position, which has been reported, now that ECOWAS, they go streets, guns blazing, ECOWAS, they employ other means, including mediation, and part of the strategy now that they hope, say, the military coup leaders then currently will see reason based on their engagement, and they will not get to that position. But the government of Sierra Leone, a member of ECOWAS, the government of Sierra Leone, they support and fully they in line with the ECOWAS position. So I hope that may make that clear. Mrs. thank you for the question about the feeling about being young. I think with the experience in Salone is unprecedented. It's not just me, but President Leone appoint. I think, and we did probably the research now, probably the youngest, definitely the youngest cabinet in the history of Sierra Leone, or one of the youngest that Africa will ever see. We get that 2-year-old minister. We get definitely the highest number of under 40s in a cabinet ever. We just do the first cabinet orientation the other day, and it was really refreshing for see so many young people across the table. And as I don't say before, not just young people that are tokenized, but young people where they because they are professionals, because they get a record of accomplishment. So first, I think the President Julius Maada Bio deserves credit for the boldness, the radicalism, if you like, for saying, let me trust leadership in young people. But I don't make clear, say, we think President Bio should be the norm, not the exception. Because the demography of this country, these are the most inclusive cabinets in the history. It's the most representative cabinet of the identity of Salone. Salone is a young country, and President Bio appoints a cabinet where it reflects the identity of this country. So it's an honor for me and my colleagues them for work and learn from other people in our cabinets. As I don't say, we approach her with humility, but also understanding the weight of this expectation that a whole generation they look at me, and we need to step up to the challenge. But I can assure you, like how the Chief Minister can always say, that nobody, if you think, say, you underestimate me because we're young, you are mistaken. Because we are ready for the task, and we get to do this job with every zeal we get inside it. And we will do it because we understand that a historic opportunity for making change for other young people. On the question of we engagement with other ministers, I think you already, Chief Minister already set the tone. That part of what you get for use for George, even other cabinet ministers, that engagement with the information sector. When I see me post the other day about me and the press secretary about how we will make accessibility, not just through this platform, but also informally and other engagement, and for them to get access to the principles in government. And all I will say to the media that give me a chance. Even this is not yet how we want it to be. We want to make it even better. But just give me a chance. Just allow me to spend some time, and we will get our right. I want to do justice because I'll be asking other people for right questions, but I need Stephen a question first, and then I'll open for the other question then. They ask finance with the IMF conditionalities that we are attached to the influx of money. And for the security sector, they ask why we not call the recently arrested people, they will not refer to them as puppets or terrorists, as previous protesters were. And obviously the question about the statements on Niger, I feel like I've answered that anyway. And then they ask the security whether troops have been readied under the ECOWAS directive, and if any group will apply for peaceful protests as well in August, and not for you, the IG. So they hold on to the question and then take maybe a few more things.
Yes.
Go on. Part of. Quoting correct.
So I think I've studied about 3 years now. And you cannot trust me. See, because of get them challenge is a day. One of the challenges they will need for amendment. Like another line ministry, the Ministry of Works for ensure citizens. But 3 years, it's really tough. Okay. And question for the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance talked about the minimum on-target tax. Most business houses, they don't raise question about it. So, good for them, and something good close. And I don't see you talk about expenditure nationalization because it's difficult. In any government, they talk about expenditure nationalization. I just go through some things then about just expenditure on traveling in the government for the past 4 years is over 180 billion. You get presidential warranty, I don't go into that, another expenses to the president, huge one. How now we cut some of them recently, not just at the Coleman so far, $25, quickly to the security sector.
Dixon, you want language, can do press conference now for me? All right, plan. All right.
And when I tell we say we don't arrest 14 people, and waiting and do because the information we get from social media also that most of the people that are arrested now they come on at once region at this country. So one from get this clarification also so that we go into information.
All right, thank you. I'll take yes. Definitely biased. Now therefore get used to the fact that I'm a feminist minister. You press all right, don't stop loud. No.
If they are found guilty, waiting will be the punishment, or waiting the law will go against them. And also, if they're not found guilty, because as we have to say the reputation, they are acquitted right now. So So what you also concerning the
All right, I think so. We don't get a lot of questions right now, and we need to get some answers, otherwise we'll get lost. Okay. So now, we'll try to see how fast we do this round, and then we'll try to do one more round. I think I will start with the finance deputy minister. We'll just start with the economy issue. I think the questions just for remind you whether you get IMF conditionalities, expenditure rationalization from Dixon. I think two main questions for you guys.
Okay, I want to tell thank you for the questions then. I just want to repeat the question so the one that we didn't also understand. So what's in the question they asked, Minister been talk about IMF. They say when the year begin up to this point, IMF don't give me additional money. So the question they ask, normally when IMF they give me money, they ask, hand go, hand come. So the question they ask, what IMF asks for what we do for that money they give me. Minister may explain, say when the year begin, IMF can tell we are due. And one thing where IMF asks for what we do now, the Finance Act for 2023. So IMF wouldn't come early this year and tell me, say, when I therefore increase revenue, for me, when I do that, when I therefore first look at the policy and then also look at the revenue administration. So IMF tell me, say, one of the things them way we got to ask and that we then see what do now the minimum alternative tax. Where IMF say, in order for me to raise more money, and therefore implement that. Or where Parliament approved that act, they will not just grab and jump for beginning for implement them. We begin engage with the public. And we still engage with the public, private sector, for make sure say we agree, we go back and forth, for make sure say they self comfortable. So for answering what I question, we not just joke, we make sure say they understand, and we agree, so we go able to meet in the middle. So we not implement it, as much as IMF does want to do one, but we're not doing it, go on for make sure say everybody comfortable. The expenses where they talk about, Minister may talk say, as we increase revenue, we also look at the expense side. To make sure say we curtail. If we spend money to the boku, we make sure say we cut down. So we also look at the expense side. Because we want to bring in the revenue, but we also want to make sure say we keep the expense at a level where we will get a balance. So I hope I have answered the question. Thank you. Someone fix it. I mean, if you know that, right? I'm good. Thank you. First of all, I want just jump or defend God. For God's sake, me and a woman, I got two boys. Wait, I don't want to happen to me, before they were born. I don't want to happen to them, I'm a woman. When I go for work, we see what's going on now about justice. When they then get back to my question, and now I call them, detective. What did they go on to the Abacha woman? What did happen? He explained. Now, you say, if that the next one, I think that's and let me tell you something. In my kitchen, I don't on table. We don't ever do my feet. Now, the one who not on table, we got the pass across, and they behave so. Yes. And we want to that's what I say. And they behave so. And we don't want that to continue. So I know what the federal government is here. Government permit for the market. So you want to say in my media, it's all here, when I was not just on my feet, they say, no way. We're not going to serious. We're not going to follow us. So the commodities today are, you mind the guests and you to master together. Thank you.
Well, on the question of why we don't refer to them, rather only investigate as puppies or terrorists. To me, puppies and terrorists, not the number, but what they do is combat authority. Compassion. I mean, what I say as compassion will investigate. When you undermine power or authority of legally constituted body like government, and that's compassion. So if you write call it puppies, you write call it terrorists, but we take the bottom line. So on the question of application for permission for protest, nobody, as far as all this movement I talk, nobody not applying for permission for protest. And this time around, as the security sector, will not allow any faceless protest. It's not possible. So I said, the law is clear, man. You got to protest the rights. You write to me, I invite you for an ethical for conductor. You tell me how you want pass from Ogon to Fogeru to this, that. We'll map the routes so that we will allow other road users for use the road uninterrupted. Then those are the whole end. You take responsibility. If it goes back, you are responsible. So you have to go through all of that before you can give you permission to protest. Then on the issue of calling names and what did you do, you don't be little patient with me. The first information we'll give on the 31st, we say we will follow some blasting activity. And this time we can, the second time we can, tell our numbers so they investigate and numbers what they look for. So the next time we are coming to you, we are going to give you names. So you have to explain the issue. Then on the issue of the punishment where they will get, the laws are clear. We are investigating, I only prescribe punishment. But the laws are clear, the law prescribes this punishment for this offense. So you have to wait for that time.
Thank you very much. Well, we complain, good afternoon, people will think say, well, it's not quiet. Well, it is the sheriff town and the country. And Mr. Senator, in consulting, we meet at the court of law. You consider it's born and you're embarrassed to be born. You consider the whole country. So that's why we allow him to speak normally, because he's in charge of the internal security. If they look inwards, then they look outwards. For more often, he complements the effort through what we call now that country, although must be nutrients of civil power, and this is civil power. But coming to ECOWAS, the ECOWAS get to take called the ECOWAS Standby Force, where they've not developed. As Mr. Minister said, Sierra Leone, part of ECOWAS, active member. We belong, before now, we don't pledge what we call a company for that ECOWAS Standby Force. It's still active, the pledge is still active. But for if anything, we never go inside, that's we never go at the highest level, the issue of making body. Of course, we all know President and Parliament. Along with the authority for Syria, they go Nigeria or anywhere tomorrow, pass and get clear directives from the highest level. Thank you.
No, I just want to make small comment to Dixie way he asked if they don't hear any from the traders then. In fact, government don't meet with the traders them on 2 occasions now. In fact, we even get meeting with the traders them last week. Now the Ministry of Trade and Industry, we get the Ministry of Transport back with the and look at all the options they were there for the Makisuma and waiting government be able to. You know, these are caring government. These are governments where you say people get livelihood and that. So therefore, we sit down with them as I talk to them now for arrange and agreement to them for do. We get a member say city council, they are responsible for the market then. And I take dues from the market woman then. So part of that meeting, the last week, and I'm Ministry of Trade, city council did for say all the existing markets already, how we can able to repair them, make them fine for making market woman and bank coincide it. So government don't hear from them, we engage with them because we are carrying the list in government. I just want the addition.
Thank you. I think Nixie also asked a question about the lifts. I will not forget that. As I say, we try to be a transparent and responsive government. Look, I mentioned accessibility. Nobody know one thing in a building where the systems are not fully function. We're very aware of that. The Chief Minister just pointed out, say, we listen and we take proactive steps. For the purpose of this press conference, we allude to the fact that we do say in the engagement with the press, we think about everything. How do we make this as accessible as possible? Maybe not focus on that. One way we think is, okay, maybe not come in lockdown, now see if foreign affairs, if other suitable building in day, we get accessibility functions. That means that the thinking in cabinet, the thinking in government is evolving, is changing. Now, On the specific question of the Ministry of Works and Rebuilding, I promise to say I will talk to the minister and I will bring Ankaya as well. But we say we did the advocates for letting the building be fixed. So we do it now on that side. We'll take a final round of questions because I also want to stick with the time. 1, 2, 3, like that. Yes. Yeah, okay, good. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah.
Today, like here, the arrest of them, Ahmed Society, more confrontation between Ahmed and Salone. How do they solve that? When the extradition
Yes, okay, thank you very much. Yes, go ahead. Just hold on, yes. Yes, I'm sorry.
Now you say the woman in the market, woman the way is the one who they sell markets, and the one who is pastors. You don't see, I say you say that is related.
Okay. Okay, please.
So the spotlight minister.
Yeah.
Now, you say about some military personnel and big on the ground and other police personnel. You don't see, I see they pose serious security threat to the country.
Thank you.
This question will go forward. What I want to look for over the years, I mean, this was surprised for seeing a press publication today that we don't really act differently in the State House. What is going on that people don't know? I'm reference to the forum is paper. That's wrong here. Just soon.
Okay, now the final set of questions. I want to read the additional questions and we'll get through the system we will try to introduce. Julius Maguna asked if it's possible for expedite Sierra Leoneans who they live outside of Africa if the inquiry implicates them. Somebody who is saying anonymous, they ask, waiting at the threat assessment before and after the recent detection of subversive activities involving the military and police personnel. And then he feels that the same person he asks, he says subversive activities could be subjected to many different interpretations. If you could be a little bit more concise, split the said activities to a coup d'etat. All right, so we got a few questions. I think we will focus with the security sector and then we will cancel it.
There's one confrontation between journalists and Israelis I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know very well.
Maybe last, I'm not waiting for colleagues. We get protocol Interpol now, 151 countries because if even now, within another country we cause trouble, Salone for example, we just work with partners. That's what we did. We work with partners on that side through the MCB, and we were able to pick up whatever we want to pick up. So it's a question of saying Salone, we are the most that they will have now, so they are interested and such. And of course, they are already on the run as far as we are concerned. They don't pose any threat to what we are doing. They don't, because they are on the run already. They don't. they are man enough, they should come and fight. But they are on the road, so they don't possess the truth. Then on the issue of extradition, no matter outside as long as that country will be a part of the Interpol community, we'll get it. All we need to do is just develop your case history. Tell them what Interpol, the assessor, they put the red alert for you. Anytime they do it, we've done that severally. And we get very good relationship with Guinea, Liberia, we immediate neighbors. Recently, or sometime last year, when I was director of crime services, people that commit offense in Liberia, 3 of them, they run away cars. We catch them as in to send them go back. So there was no hard to know about that one. So that understanding is there, it is very clear. So on the question of threat, before this time or before the subversions we are investigating, for us, threat is not constant. We keep assessing threat on a 3-month basis. Threat changes depending on the changes in the population dynamics and the circumstances. So it's not fixed. As far as we are concerned, there is no threat. Until we put that one up, and as of now, there is no threat to wherever is happening in this country. So if already corporally on the road, visiting our threat, we are not very well. And of course, the process of passion, subversion, when you go to the Oxford Dictionary, they say that when you undermine authority or power, that is subversion. But when we don't know for investigate, we submit the file to the law officers department for perusal and legal advice. They will tell us, well, we might charge for this, we might charge for this. So we'll wait for that time.
Question on the SDR.
Thank you again for that question. So I just want to understand the question. I think the question where the brother asked, the XDR money come, seen as supplementary budget, how we ship up. Yeah, so I just want to make, again, SDR again for do with the IMF. So I guess today they will go IMF question in there. So, the money they come from it and say, okay, that money they come, you get for buy bottled water. The money they come, they put them into one basket. Whether not domestic revenue, whether not support from IMF, or they put them inside one basket. So all they do is supplementary budgets. We just exchange and say that money that this they go for water, that this they go for camera, that this they go for that. So they come and say earmarked for this. So I hope that this can be clear. Otherwise we'll get a bilateral, we'll make an explain on that. But the money they go inside one basket and then we shape them based on the needs for the government and priority for the government. Thank you.
Perfect. Just very briefly on this question about the mandate.
Still adding in this democratic mandate. Well, not just grab and talk. The first time the call gets to society, the winner get office, we call the podium. They just find a call the journalist, the winner the office. They go to the first class.
I think there was one final question for the order when I distinguish question for the next lesson. So let me respond very briefly.
Thank you very much. Rahman, yes. State forum, say why not State House at the most.
No, I did not say that. I'm only reiterating what the forum is said about it this morning.
That was what he said. So I believe say power or money not change people. People change in their character. Maybe when they can get money now, they get power to change. I don't get information, foreign affairs, not to back to information. I don't think say any Sierra Leonean or ever say Solomon Jamil Mosul. Maybe if anybody feels Mosul, something that we don't know, it just makes sense and decide to contract. So in the work environment, my colleague Tanu Jalo is here, and I have fantastic colleagues who I work with, my Vera, other players. in the environment we did, it's about the presidency. And like when the brother Chairman say, we have to deliver, and we'll not get any excuses. Thank you.
Very, very high notes. I want to take this opportunity to tell you all thank you. I hope say una see this, log your attention please. Abdullah, oh just one. I hope say una see this as the beginning of a long set of conversations. I want to particularly appreciate the leaders of the security forces in Naya, Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Labaon, the Inspector General of Police, William Fayaselu, the distinguished Chief Minister, we don't know with me now, but we agree with his presence, Dr. David Moyina-Senge, the Minister of Finance, we Mr. I don't correct me, say not a doctor, and Mr. Sheku Fatimandi Bangura, and Deputy, Madam General Bangura, and with Sister Weko Civil Society from the Women's Forum, Sally Adams. Thank you to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. We at such short notice, they agree for hosting. But the biggest thank you really, Una, the journalists there. We appreciate Una Kariwi, the one that we carry live, we don't follow it, we tell Una plenty, thank you. We get for send our information for feedback. How we will make this even better. We want to continue this conversation with you now, and we tell you plenty, thank you, they will join me.